Hey friends, welcome to another episode of my vlog. I know it's been a while, but today I want to go through with you through a little bit of a review for 2024, what went well, what didn't go so well, and also the ugly bits and pieces. So we'll go through all of that. And I might have a little bit of a surprise for you at the end, but I don't want to spoil it right now. So let's get going. Let's start first with the good things. As you might know, if you're following me here for a while, is that every year I set myself some goals, and let me actually show you my goals. Like here in my garden journal, I always have like 5 goals here together, which are really like my, let's just say my lighthouses for the season. If everything falls apart, I'll focus back on my goals, and they help me to prioritize when I'm feeling overwhelmed in the garden, which we all know happens typically in July or August or September eventually. So they are really my guiding light in that regard. And from my 5 goals, which I've defined, I think I made and achieved 4 of them, which I think is a good quota. We had like the first topic, and you probably have heard me say that a bunch of times throughout this year. My biggest and my most important goal for this garden year was simplicity, because I knew I would be traveling a lot for business. That will be the same next year still, maybe even more. For that, it's really important for me to have like the simplest of setup, so that when I'm gone, my family over here still has the ability to keep up without much effort for me, right? I don't want my hobby to be a burden for somebody else. So I want to keep it as simple as I can. As we all know, we can go crazy, but what I did for simplicity purpose was really reducing down the number and the types of plants to only what we knew we can grow easily. And another item of simplicity was not fretting the small stuff, which I have to admit was something which I had to embrace and remind myself of more often than I want to admit, because as you might know, I do like to things go my way, and I like to have them perfect, which as a type A person can be hard at times when you really need to let things go for certain things. And we'll come back to that point shortly. Goal number 2 was staking. And staking, I did a really good job with, or a better job definitely than last year. There were still a few areas of improvement here and there when it comes to the staking, but overall everything was staked and supported well, and everything got also extra supported when we had some critters trying to eat the garden with some fencing around it. So staking was a non-issue this year, so that was definitely a check in my box as well. Then number 3 was grow only what we eat. I think for most cases we did a really good job with it. All of the vegetables I was growing and the varieties were varieties which we love. I still got my way with the 2 plants of center cut squash, where let's just say after the first few weeks of squash, everybody was just rolling their eyes when I brought more in. So we gave, I think, in total like 60 pounds of squash or so to the food bank over the time of August and September. But it was also nice to share that with the community here around us and have some other people enjoy the fruits of my labor. So then item number 4 was taking more pictures and taking more footage in general. And I think I did achieve this in comparison to 2023, as you will see here in this video with all the B-roll I have and all the footage, which we'll see showing up in this video. But it was, I think I can still do better. One thing which I started to do, and I think that increased the likelihood of me actually taking the footage, is to not go inside and take the camera out or the GoPro, but taking the footage and B-roll with my phone, as I got a new phone, and that iPhone 16 Pro camera is so the footage of it, it's amazing. And I think that in B-roll is not in a compromise, but a really nice add-on. So that is definitely something what I will keep focusing on for that. And then number 5 is the one which I unfortunately didn't do as much as I wanted to. I think I actually probably did less than 2023. So that was definitely not a checkbox, but the last goal was to share more flowers. And as you know, I love my cut flowers and they bring me so much joy. But with me being gone for traveling so much, I don't think I cut as many flowers on a regular basis as I did the previous years. So that was a little bit of an downer. Although on the other hand, the garden always looked beautiful and in full bloom because as you know, a cut flower garden should never be in bloom because you're always like cutting them, right? But I know the family enjoyed the blooms and sitting in the garden with friends, having some s'mores at night and with a nice view. So I know it was appreciated. So that was not necessarily a downside, but I grow those cut flowers to really have a lot of flowers to share and to arrange with. And I think we could have done a little bit more. And let's see, I think I will make that a little bit of a higher priority next year. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, those were my garden goals, which I definitely achieved well. And in case you're wondering how you can note down your beautiful goals, I have this iPad version of the garden journal. It's linked below, but I have also with Amazon my new garden journal in the store as a print version where you're able to have your goals set as well. So where you can set your own 2025 goals. So for that reason, check out the link below in the description if you want one. Now's the time to get starting with your garden plans. So just a little side note here. So let's talk a little bit about the bad things which happened and which stuck in my head. One of the items was definitely the family of groundhogs who appeared late spring and multiplied into a family of 7 or 9. I don't remember fully, but I think it was 7 small ones and like 2 adults. And yeah, they had fun in my garden. They lived under the ugly white container from our neighbors right next to my garden. So I could always see them like coming out and looking when I was not moving around. And yes, they were cute, but yeah, they wrecked my peas. They went into my tomatoes. So in the end, I had literally everything fenced off because for some reason they were not smart enough to go over the chicken wire fence. So we fenced it. It was fine. In the late summer, though, they started to disappear. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'm not asking any questions. I was just happy about it. We did have some hawks and also some coyotes in the backyard, like in that wild patch behind our backyard. Showing up, or at least we heard them at night. So maybe they took care of them. So nature balances itself out every once in a while, right? So yeah, but in the spring and in the early summer, they were literally the pain of my existence. And of course, the bunnies love to come around as well, although they were also not in such high numbers as the previous years. So I think the hawk took good care of them. But that was definitely something which was a little bit of an annoyance, I gotta say. And then when we look at the next topic, which was a little bit of a side effect of me taking things with a more simplistic approach, as I was gone so often, was I couldn't stay on top of diseases as much as I used to, because the key with like any type of diseases is to really like address it and take it out early before it can spread. Yeah, that ship sailed pretty quick. So there was no chance because I was pretty much gone every other week and sometimes even more under the week for traveling, like 3 out of 5 days. So with that, you just are not there when things occur, or sometimes you might not even notice them early enough. So we had like super early some blight showing up on some of my tomatoes, which spread like wildfire super quick. The other thing was some leaf rot on the floret zinnias, which then weakened the plants, and they turned then also super early then towards powdery mildew. So it was like a combo. But my dahlias, for example, they look glorious all season long, almost no diseases whatsoever. The joy of my garden year this year was definitely my seedling. Also, the most the best tuber producer by far from all my dahlia varieties, which was amazing. Like I had I had 5 plants from this gorgeous, gorgeous seedling. And out of those 5 plants, I got 66 viable tubers. They were all, like, the clumps were massive, really, really nice clumps with beautiful, chubby, easy to divide tubers, and all tubers had eyes on it. I still can't believe it. None of my other varieties had even close to that amount of tubers on it. Blizzard is always a good one, but otherwise, or my Cozy Town baby cakes and stuff are usually really good producers as well. They did well as well. Similar amount of plants as well, but like half of the tubers compared to my seedling. It was seed stock from Cozy Town as well, so they are really, really prolific and just, I think, like our climate here around. So I'm really excited. This, though, gives me a little bit of a heartburn for my next garden year, because I'm not yet so 100% sure how I'm going to grow out those 66 tubers, because of course I want to multiply them and share them with the world, ideally after next year, so in 2026. Because when you hybridize dahlias, you're supposed to grow them out for 3 years first to see that they're stable and really come true every year. And then afterwards you're supposed to and allowed to name it, and then you're able to distribute it. And not only am I scared what like 66 tuber will produce if they keep their tuber production so prolific, because that, just do the math of it. But yeah, it's an interesting problem to have, of course. So I'm working with one of our local dahlia growers here together, and I'm discussing with her right now if she would be willing to help me to grow some out, and we'll work something out afterwards so she can keep some and stuff. And that would be nice to see if florists are going to like it too. But that's a whole topic for another video eventually, and I'm digressing here. So but those were definitely like things which stuck with me. I also love all the drone footage we took, and I hope you saw that I took great effort into hopefully upping up my video skills here to make my videos more attractive for you guys. So yeah, I'm super excited for next year. It was a year which was humbling to some extent, but also seeing how the family showed up to really help me, to support me with my garden. Our oldest, with her boyfriend, she really, they were the garden managers throughout the summer and took great care and really logged my vegetables nicely and took care of everything while I'm gone. So that was really, really lovely. And yeah, it always takes a village, right? It's really, really something what you can do alone. And now that we're talking seed starting again, I'm starting my Lysianthus seeds on the weekend, this weekend, which is the last weekend of 2024, to get going. So yeah, it's all part of a big production line. But anyway, so I'm curious to hear what went well for you, and what were your top moments of your 2024 garden, or your low moments, low lights for 2024. Let me know in the comments. You know, I'll always love to discuss this with you in the comments. And then my little surprise, what you also find in the comments, is my annual seed share link. So I will only have this up probably until January 5th. This is in form where you're able to just sign up. There are a few seeds which I've saved this year for you to pick from. Put your address in. I don't spam you, and I don't use the data for anything else, I promise. But then I share some seeds with you. Check out the link in the description below. It's only open until January 1st, so please be quick after you see this video to sign up for it, and I'll send you a little envelope with the seeds. And I should have still a good amount of everything, I think, to be able to share it with you. And US only, sorry my international friends, but yeah, that's just a little token which I always love to do at the end of the year as my appreciation for you to be here following my story. And yeah, let me otherwise know what else are you up to. Otherwise, I'll see you soon. Bye.